In this video, we're gonna go over a simple visualization technique that you can use to increase self-confidence. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, I'm a performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now, this is the second video in the series on sports visualization. So if you haven't watched the first video in that series that goes into detail on what visualization is and why visualization works, I've linked it right here if you would like to go watch it. Now, seeing yourself successfully perform your skills is the best way to build confidence, and you can use visualization to help you do so. Now, just like when you practice and train physically, your mental imagery work should follow a structure. This structure is going to make sure that the work will be targeted towards your specific needs and will be done in the most optimal manner, because you want to make sure that this practice is as efficient and effective as possible. The better your visualization practice, the quicker your confidence is going to grow. And so the visualization technique I'm about to go over is not very complicated. But if you want to see results as soon as possible, I really advise beginning to implement it into your routine on a daily basis, because the more consistently you can use this visualization, the more of an impact it's going to have on you. So step number one is you want to identify the skill that you're trying to build confidence with. So you're going to identify what exactly you want to visualize. The more specific you can be in your mental imagery work, the better of a result you're going to get. Now, it may seem obvious what you need to work on, but I want you to take this time to really fine-tune what is causing you to lack confidence. For example, let's take a look at a situation where there's a basketball player who is lacking confidence in shooting free throws. This is the example that I used in the previous video. Their confidence has dwindled ever since they missed some late game free throws, and so they don't feel like they can make those free throws moving forward, especially in those moments when they're feeling pressure. Now, that player doesn't, however, have any trouble making free throws earlier in the game, and especially not in practice. There's not going to be any added pressure at this time, and the association they have to free throws in those situations is just a normal one. They're not doubting themselves because they don't have that experience of missing those free throws in those crunch time moments. So what they would do is figure out, okay, I need to visualize specifically that situation when I'm doubting myself, which is a late game free throw. Because if they just visualize a free throw, that's going to help them, but it's not going to necessarily help them in that specific situation. So for yourself, if you're wanting to build confidence, not just in a skill, but in a skill performed in a specific situation and a specific moment during the game, then you want to make your visualization as real as possible for that situation. And then step number two is you want to get into an optimal environment. Now, visualization work is going to require a calm, relaxed, and quiet mind. In order to achieve this state, you need to put yourself in an optimal environment. This is going to include two parts: a quiet location where you will be undisturbed, and then also a comfortable position, because you don't want to be uncomfortable when you're trying to visualize. You want to make sure you are in a location which is not going to be disturbed for at least 5 minutes. This visualization is not going to take very long, but you want to make sure that when you are performing the visualization, you are as focused and undisturbed as possible. This might mean putting your phone on silent or airplane mode for the time being, so you're not distracted by a notification or a phone call either. Now, once you are in a nice and quiet location, you want to get yourself into a comfortable position. And then step number three is breath work. With this third step, what we're trying to do is get you into that nice, relaxed state of mind. Think of this step kind of like warming up before a game or before practice. You're priming your mind for the practice of visualization that's about to take place. I like to think of breath work as a way to create a blank canvas of the mind. You know, it's like if you're wanting to draw on a piece of paper, you want to draw on a blank piece of paper. You don't want to draw on a piece of paper that has a bunch of scribbles all over it. So what you can do is you can use some breath work to bring a stillness to your mind and prepare yourself for this visualization. Now, the simplest form of this is count breathing. It's where you breathe in for a count of 5 and breathe out for a count of 10. You can also breathe in for a count of 4 and breathe out for a count of 8, or in for a count of 5, out for a count of 5. The actual rhythm doesn't matter as much as the principle of focusing on the numbers to really center your attention and taking those nice deep breaths to help calm your mind and relax your body. And then step number 4 is where you're going to visualize. You're going to envision your scene, right? This is where you're going to bring it to life, get as detailed as you can. Now, if you followed the previous 3 steps, you should be in an absolutely perfect state to perform this visualization. Now, there are no rules about how to perform your visualization. The only kind of guiding principles are go into detail. So you want to get as detailed as possible and feel some emotion, right? Because when you're in a real life situation, you feel a lot of emotions in that situation. So if we're going off of the example of the basketball player shooting free throws, they would need to get as detailed as they can about, you know, who are they playing, what color are their jerseys, what color is the court, what's the basket look like, how big's the stadium they're playing in, going into as many details as possible, you know, really seeing the ball that's in their hands. The more detailed you can get, the more real your visualization is going to be. And then with the emotion part, you want to feel emotion while you're performing the skill. So what you want to do is you want to feel relaxed, and you also want to feel confident. But then remember, what we're really after with this confidence visualization is that memory of success. So if you want to have the memory of success, you need to ask yourself, how do I feel when I actually succeed during a game? And so at the end of your visualization, you want to feel successful, like you actually just performed that skill well in real life. So that's a visualization technique you can use for improving your confidence. Now, in this next video right here, I go into detail on a visualization technique you can use for relaxation. So this one's going to help if you're stressed and anxious before a game. Now, if you have any questions about this video, please leave them in the comments below.